You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for.
And no prophet, just like the third grade teacher, does not speak against the second grade teacher, does not speak against the first grade teacher, because they're all in a system. That's the way it is with the prophets of God. Abraham didn't speak against prophets before him, nor did you find any prophet condemning his own predecessor. All the prophets came from one line. And that's why in the New Testament, Jesus said one faith, or the disciples said one faith, one Lord, one way of baptizing or bringing you up into God. You say, well, man, I didn't expect to come out to the arena to hear this. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. But I'm working on death now to show you how we can stop the killing. You stop it by stopping the foolishness and the ignorance of your mind. Killing starts here. Hating people for their way of devotion is foolishness. And you are not going to make a fool out of me. You want to say that I hate Jews.
Go ahead.
With your silly self. If I hate Jews because of their way of devotion to God, I am a wicked man then. I have been to Jerusalem. I have prayed at the Wailing Wall with Jews. Why should I hate a man who's trying to pray to God? We don't hate the Christian in his prayers, or the Muslim in his prayers, or the Buddhist in his prayers, but what produces hate is when you get up from your prayer. Then you start robbing, lying, stealing, conniving, interfering with the process of life, depriving other human beings of the right to live. That's what we condemn. We condemn it in ourselves, and we condemn it in anyone that we find doing it. And so there's only one faith, one Lord, one mighty God.
That's right.
Many ways of devotion, but only one faith. What is that? What is it, brothers? What is the real faith of God? You find the word peace mentioned over and over and over and over again in the Bible. When Paul condemned Jews and Gentiles in the book of Romans, he said Jews and Gentiles, they're all under sin. None that doeth good. No, not one. Paul talking, not Farrakhan. Paul said the poison of asps is under their tongues. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Their mouth is an open sepulchre or tomb. The way of peace they have not known. Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God. Well, what is a peacemaker? How do you make peace? Because if you can make peace, you can stop the killing. Peace has to be made.
Listen.
when you make something, you take a created thing and order it according to an idea or plan. Then you've made something from a created thing. Blessed are the peacemakers. You got to take something that is created and then order it according to a plan. And when you order it according to a plan, if the plan is from God, it produces harmony, peace. There are musicians in this audience. It's all right, sweetheart. It's all right, baby. And I must say to this great convention center, we do thank you for allowing us the privilege to meet here. But I do know that this hall is really made to hold as many people as are here. And the air conditioning and the architects and the engineers, they really knew what they were doing. You know, I don't think that they're stupid in Charlotte. They're quite wise here. And you all know how to keep things cool or to make things hot. And you know if you make things hot, our people are going to be uncomfortable and they won't want to stay with me just a little while longer. But I'm going to keep the cool wisdom flowing. All praise is due to Allah. Now, dear family, we ask a question. What is life? And what is death? Death is the opposite of life. But what is it that constitutes life? Well, some scholars will say that life is activity or motion. Well, what is it that starts activity or life? You see, dear family, when we study this universe, which is a living thing, you know, when you look at Earth, it just looks like it's inanimate to you, but it's alive. This is a living ball that we are standing on, that we came up out of and returned into. It's living. But what gives it its motion, its activity, its life? Are you all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Life is activity in accord with law.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Listen now. Life is activity in accord with law. Every generation that has come up on the earth. It said generations may come, generations may go. But what does the book say about the earth? But the earth abideth forever. How come the earth has life forever and you only have it for a minute or two? Come on, let's talk. You come out of the earth, right? And before you can get acquainted with the earth, don't even talk about the moon and the stars and everything else out there. Before you can get acquainted with the earth, we're back in it again.
Teach, Minister. Go ahead.
Something wrong somewhere. Can you hang with me just a little while longer? My dear family, when God created the heavens and the earth, he made everything in the universe to bow to the law under which they're created.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
That's what life is. Life is bowing, submitting to the law under which you're created.
Go ahead, Minister.
The sun has been there. Wise men and fools have come up and looked at it.
Yes,
And they go down and they left it right there. And another generation of wise and fools, righteous and wicked, will come up and look. Whoa, that sun is mighty. But what keeps it there?
Yeah, listen.
It's in obedience to the law under which it is created.
That's right, that's right.
Look at the moon and the earth. The earth is abiding because the earth is obedient. The earth never gets out of its orbit. It stays in the orbit prescribed for it. You don't see the earth looking at Mars saying, wonder what's going on over there. I think I'll just go on over and get into Mars orbit. The minute you try to get out of your orbit, you create death.
Listen.
You got 9 planets in our solar system. And all the planets are in a circle of life because they are touched by the sun, which is the source of life, light, and energy for the 9 planets within her grasp. You all right?
Yes, sir. Teach, Master, teach.
The diameter of sunlight is 76 quintillion miles.
That's right, that's right.
Meaning that everything that it touches within that area, it moves it. You have planets here, starting from Mercury out to Pluto. 4,600,000,000 miles from the sun. But the same light that moves Mercury moves Pluto. And all the planets, though some are lost in the light of the sun like Mercury, and some only get the sun a fraction of the time, yet all of them moving at the speed of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour on their journey around the sun. All of them in obedience to the sun. The reason you can live today, dear family, because you ate before you got here. How fortunate you were. The chicken obeyed the law of its creator. And so did the egg. So every time you crack the egg, you've cracked the fruit of obedience to divine law. When you squeeze the juice of an orange, you're squeezing the fruit of that which obeyed a divine and natural law. So everything that you eat is in obedience to God except you. The orange obeys, the grapefruit obeys, the chicken obeys, the cow obeys, the lamb obeys, the sheep obeys, the turkey obeys, the fish obeys. Everything obeys God. The Quran says everything in creation obeys God except. You mean there's an exception to the rule? Said everything obeys except the rebellious devil. Let's look at that. Now we come into life and death. I want you all to accept life today. When I leave you today, I hope I will leave you a better person than when I found you. That way I know that I have done the job that God wanted me to do. If I entertained you, that's not what I'm here for. If you laugh along the way, that's fine. But entertainment is not my job.
Go ahead.
My job is teaching. And teaching a specific thing. Now, if you will hang on with me a few more minutes, I guarantee you that as a classroom, we'll go out of here feeling a whole lot better than when we came in. In fact, you're about to feel better right now. Now, I don't want you to jump up and stop. Throw your crutches down. I'm not a fake healer. Well, a little laugh is always good. Now let's get back in the water here. Life is obedience to the will of God. That's life. Why is that life? Because he who originated life knows best how to maintain and sustain the life that he originated.
Right.
So when God sends down certain commandments to us, it isn't that God just wants to be a dictator. If God just wanted to be an authoritarian dictator, he would never have given us free will.
That's right. Go ahead.
If he made you like the animals can't disobey. Dog can't be nothing but a dog. You can train it any kind of way you want. But that's a dog. You can't make a snake human. You can't make animals come out of their orbit. You can train an elephant to sit up. And you say, look at what I've done to the elephant. You can train a lion to do little tricks in a circus. But you have not altered the nature of the lion.
Go ahead, minister. Go ahead.
That's why every now and then they kill the trainer.
That's right.
You run in the cage and think you're in there with Fido or Leo, huh? Yeah. And he reverts back to nature because there is no altering Allah's creation.
Go ahead, teacher.
You can't do that.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You may think you have,
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
but you can never trust it, because at a time when you least expect, it will revert.
That's right.
Now what am I saying? Everything above you and beneath you is in obedience. And you know what? You would too if you knew God's will. I believe that most of us would at least try to do it. You know why I know that? Because this Quran says that Allah created all of us in his nature.
Yes.
And his nature is obedience to his will. Are you saying that I am a Muslim by nature?
Go ahead.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that the natural religion of man is obedience to God. That's the nature in which all of us were created.
Teach, Master, teach.
So to my Arab brothers and sisters, don't ever say when you hear me that I'm a Muslim. You say, as I had some of them say to me, brother, we are so happy that you have accepted our religion. I said, no. I'm glad you have made it yours. But I have accepted the nature in which I was created.
Yeah.
I was created a Muslim. And I'm now practicing my nature.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead. You got it, minister.
Now the Arabs have been the latest exponents of a religious system that is as old as God himself. Come on now.
Teach.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not bring a new religion. Prophet Muhammad was the latest exponent of a religious system that was in existence before there was a man named Abraham. And that's why Jesus said in the New Testament, before Abraham was, I am. I say like Jesus. Before Abraham was, I am. I didn't need Abraham to bring me to the oneness of God.
Teach, minister.
I was born in the nature of that. That's why the term conversion is a false terminology that is vanity.
Teach, minister. Teach.
We're going to convert these heathens.
Listen.
Convert them into what? See, you really, if you listen to yourself sometimes, my dear Christian and Muslim brothers and sisters in their missionary zeal, we're going to go into Africa and make all these Africans Christians or Muslims. Hey. Do you know something? Your own vanity, because you have a good revelation, and your false pride and arrogance is making you to come to an ancient people in a way that the ancients will reject you.
That's right. That's right.
See, Prophet Muhammad was an Arab.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
Well, what is Arab?
Listen.
What is an Arab? What makes him an Arab?
Yeah, listen. Tell us, brother.
Did Prophet Muhammad say, I am an Arab?
Listen.
Does speaking Arabic make you an Arab?
Listen. Go ahead.
Then if I learn Chinese and speak it, does that make me Chinese?
Teach, master, teach.
Boy, I'm telling you, we crazy.
Go ahead.
Prophet Muhammad came up on that peninsula that is called Arabia. He was born there, right?
Yes, sir.
I was not born on that peninsula.
Go ahead, minister.
Well, then am I an Arab? If I was not born on that peninsula, then that may not be my national origin, but Islam is my natural religion. But if you preach it from an Arab perspective, which is all you can preach it from, you do not want to make me into you, or do you?
Go ahead.
You see, this is where your vanity has come in. The scripture says, and God made man in his own image and after his own likeness.
Teach, minister.
But you trying to make us white? Some Muslims who are Indians trying to make black people Indians?
Come on, man.
Make us Arabs?
Come on, man. Go ahead.
The book didn't say that.
No, dude.
You make a man a Muslim.
Teach, minister.
You make him reacquaint him with his nature and then tell him, be yourself. You don't superimpose on any human being your own cultural way.
Talk.
Your culture is not mine. I respect your culture. Why don't you leave me in mine? Islam brings a culture. It is not Arab. It is neither Eastern nor Western. It is Islam. It is obedience to the will of God. When God directs your eating, out of that comes the culture of eating. You don't cook strange dishes when God is directing your eating habits. Then if you have your own way of cooking, that's your thing. It's your thing. Do what you gotta do, but don't make your thing my thing. God's thing should be all of what we want to do. I'm almost finished. Now, beloved family, I mean, this is a big subject.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And there's not enough time to deal with it, but it came to me one day. I was in the barber shop, and the barber was cutting my hair, and he was telling me a story about himself and another person. He and an elderly lady were on their way to the shop, and he was to do her hair, and it was very early in the morning, and there were some young brothers in front of the shop. They were smoking reefers, and when they saw him coming, they put the reefer out, put it in their pocket, hid it behind their back. Good morning, Mr. So-and-so. Morning, morning, morning. When he went in the shop, I guess they went on about their business. But later, they came in the shop while the old lady was in the chair, and they went to one of the barbers who is older than the barber that they was hiding the reefer from, called him by his first name, and was disrespectful. And so the lady asked the question, why is it that these young boys show respect to him, calling him Mister, and then call you by your first name? And right while I was sitting in the chair, I saw a subject that I wanted to teach on life and death. You see, brothers and sisters, a person who respects themselves gets respect. But a person who disrespects themselves does not earn the respect of others. We are two brothers. But if I show respect for myself and then you want to disrespect yourself, get drunk in front of young people, call yourself talking their language, then all of a sudden they'll treat you like somebody unworthy of respect because you have made yourself unworthy. Well, I saw in that the lesson of life and death. Listen. If life comes from obedience to God, what is death?
Go ahead.
Death is the very opposite, rebellion. God gives you a free will. You can choose to obey him or you can choose to disobey. That's entirely up to you. But the path of rebellion is death. And that's why in the New Testament, the writer says the wages of sin is death.
Teach, minister, teach.
What is sin, Paul? Paul said sin is transgression of the law. Now remember, we showed everything in creation obeying God. Everything you eat that sustains your life is in obedience to God. But you use the fruit of obedience to give you life to rebel.
Go ahead.
And so death now covers the planet because everybody wants to impose their way on God.